Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the Superchic Lacquer Serendipity collection. There are 8 polishes in this collection. Aside from the gray, they are all neon pastels with a really cool kind of pearlescent sheen to them. Jen describes them as dewy day glow, and then there is also a linear holographic top coat in here, which is supposed to be a hollow top coat that can go over these pastels and not dull them. Some holographic top coats can be very, very gray, and they can dull the polish that you put them over. So with the combination of the polishes and the top coat, it is entirely possible to have a holographic neon pastel, which I had kind of gone back and forth with Jen and talked about some ideas that I had for collections that I would like to see, and I really wanted to see holographic neon pastels, and she found a way to do it. So I'm really excited to show this collection to you. Like I said, 8 polishes, so it might be a little bit long, but I will link Superchic Lacquer down below so you guys can check these out, and on to the swatches. So the first polish in this collection is called Nothing Ventured, and this is a lighter gray with that dewy day glow kind of pearlescent shimmer to it. So here is one coat of Nothing Ventured. So this one is a little bit sheer on the first coat. It's a little bit streaky as well. The formula on this is really good. It might feel a tiny bit thin, like it might run a little bit. So there is one coat of Nothing Ventured. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Nothing Ventured. This one doesn't quite cover on 2 coats. You could still a little bit streaky. So it is going to need a third. This dried really, really fast though. I was really impressed with how fast this dried. So there is 2 coats of Nothing Ventured. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a third coat. So here is 3 coats of Nothing Ventured. So you can see that this one covers completely on 3 coats, no streaks, and again this dried really, really fast too. So there is 3 coats of Nothing Ventured. This does dry really fast, but that's because it does dry matte. It can look a little bit dull, so if you want the day glow kind of pearlescent shimmer to really show, you want to add a top coat to all of these. So there it is on its own with 3 coats, and then I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like with the linear top coat on it. So here is 3 coats of Nothing Ventured with the linear top coat on it, which is called Ride the Neon Rainbow. So the next polish is called Law of Nature, and this is a light pastel yellow with that pearlescent shimmer to it. So here is 1 coat of Law of Nature. So you can see this one is also a bit sheer on the first coat. It is going to need probably 3. It's quite a bit streaky. The formula feels about the same as the last one. It's a little tiny bit thin. It wants to run a little bit, but it's not bad. So there is 1 coat of Law of Nature. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Law of Nature. This one covers pretty well on 2 coats. It's still a bit streaky though, so it is going to need a third. This one also dries matte, so it dried really fast. So there is 2 coats of Law of Nature. It's a little bit streaky still, so I'm going to let that dry and come back for a third coat. So here is 3 coats of Law of Nature. So this one covers completely in 3 coats. It's right on the edge though. I think it could be very possible to need a 4th coat depending on your application. So there is 3 coats of Law of Nature. And here it is with the holographic top coat. Unfortunately, because this is a very light pastel yellow, the holographic top coat does gray this one out a little bit. So the next polish is called Cause and Effect, and this is a light pastel orange color with that pearlescent shimmer. So here is 1 coat of Cause and Effect. This one is a bit thin on the first coat as well. Like I said, this does feel a little bit thin, so it's making it a little too easy for me to flood my cuticle. So there is 1 coat of Cause and Effect. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Cause and Effect. So this one covers okay on the second coat. It is still a little bit streaky and patchy, so it is going to need a third. This one dries very fast as well, and also dries to that matte finish. So there is 2 coats of Cause and Effect. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a third coat. So here is 3 coats of Cause and Effect. So this one covers completely on 3 coats, but it is another one that's right on the edge and might need 4 depending on your application. So there is 3 coats of Cause and Effect. And here it is with the Linear Holographic Topcoat. Topcoat does seem to dull this one just a tiny bit, but not as much as it did the yellow. The next polish is called Happenstance, and this is a light neon pastel pink with that pearlescent shimmer. So here is 1 coat of Happenstance. This one is a little bit thin on the first coat. The formula feels about the same as the other ones. A little bit runny, but it does seem to cover better than some of the other ones have. So there is 1 coat of Happenstance. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Happenstance. So this one covers pretty well on 2 coats, but I can still see my nail line, so I'm going to be doing a third. This one, like the other ones, dried really fast as well. So there is 2 coats of Happenstance. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a third coat. So here is 3 coats of Happenstance. So this one covers completely on 3 coats. So there is 3 coats of Happenstance. And there is Happenstance with the Holographic Topcoat. It does add a tiny bit of a gray cast to this one as well. So the next polish is called Dumb Luck, and this is kind of a mix between a minty and a pistachio green with that same pearlescent shimmer. So here is 1 coat of Dumb Luck. So this one is a bit sheer on the first coat with some streaks. The formula is the same as on all the other ones. Just a tiny bit thin. So there is 1 coat of Dumb Luck. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Dumb Luck. So this one covers okay on 2 coats. It's still a bit patchy. I can see some streaks through it, so it is going to need a third coat. So there is 2 coats of Dumb Luck. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 3 coats of Dumb Luck. This one covers completely in 3 coats, but I can see where it could need 4 in some situations, depending on how you apply it. Again, it dries matte, so it dries really fast, but if you want the pearly kind of sheen to show as much as possible, you will want to top coat it. So there is 3 coats of Dumb Luck. And here it is with the Holographic Topcoat. The next polish is called Synchronicity, and this is kind of a grapey light pastel purple with that pearlescent shimmer. So here is 1 coat of Synchronicity. This one covers pretty well on the first coat. It is a darker color, so I'm expecting it to only need 2 coats. I might be totally crazy, but the formula also feels like it's a little bit less thin than the other ones as well. It's a little bit easier to work with. So there is 1 coat of Synchronicity. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Synchronicity. So this one covers completely on 2 coats. I definitely feel like the formula on this one is a little bit thicker and doesn't run nearly as much as the other ones. So there is 2 coats of Synchronicity. And there it is with the Holographic Topcoat. The next polish is called Pleasant Surprise, and this is a teal blue with that pearlescent shimmer. So here is 1 coat of Pleasant Surprise. This one covers okay on the first coat. It is definitely going to need 2, maybe 3. It looks a little bit streaky and sheer still. This one still feels a little bit thin. So there is 1 coat of Pleasant Surprise. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here's 2 coats of Pleasant Surprise. So this one covers in 2 coats, but it is another one that I think is right on the line, and it could need 3 depending on how you apply it. Again, this one dried really fast, just like all the other ones. So there is 2 coats of Pleasant Surprise. And there it is with the Holographic Topcoat. So the last polish is called Crystal Blue Persuasion, and this is a pastel blue with that pearlescent shimmer. So here is 1 coat of Crystal Blue Persuasion. This one covers okay on 1 coat. It is a bit sheer and streaky. The formula feels like most of the other ones, where it's a little bit thin. So there is 1 coat of Crystal Blue Persuasion. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Crystal Blue Persuasion. So this one looks like it covers completely on 2 coats, but it's very, very close. I'm having to be really careful to go lightly over my nails so that I don't create any dark spots that would make me need another coat. So there is 2 coats of Crystal Blue Persuasion. And there it is with the Holographic Topcoat. So overall, I think my favorites in this collection are Happenstance, which is this pink, and Dumb Luck, which is the green. Overall, I really like this collection. I think it has some really great colors, and I really like the addition of the Holographic Topcoat. So there are some issues with the formula in this collection. That's kind of to be expected with pastels because the colors are so light. They tend to be a little bit more difficult and need an extra coat or 2 to get fully opaque. But that is the Superchic Lacquer Serendipity collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will link Superchic Lacquer down below so you guys can check these out, and I will talk to you later.